Hello world! Today was Tuesday, January 9th, and before I start talking about what I plan to talk about, which is Lawndale Club, I'm going to do a quick entry into the really good series. Today is a really good song, and I know that you've heard it before. If you haven't, what should I say? If you haven't, please go listen to it. Actually, even if you've heard it a million times, I would rather you go listen to this song than listen to me talk for however long I'm going to talk. If you say, Curtis, like I only have so much time in a day, I can only do one thing or the other, I'm going to put the link to this song in the description and in a comment, and go listen to this if you have to choose between me or listening to this song. Really good. Looking Glass, Brandy, 1972. I am always trying to find perfect albums. My favorite thing is a concept album, but like I really love a perfect album, which is just beginning to end. You listen to it all the way through. Like I have certain albums that I have to listen to all the way through. I'm not going to say them now because I want to do other really good episodes on those, but this song is a perfect song. 100%. Brandy, Looking Glass, not Brandy. The band is Looking Glass. The song is Brandy. Brandy, you're a fine girl. This is a song that sometimes I just listen to for hours, like on repeat, just this one song. And probably after I finish recording this, when I'm working, I'm doing, working on Lawndale Club project, my Lawndale Club designs art. I'll probably listen to this for like an hour straight. Really good song. Perfect song. Please go listen to it. Okay, so didn't make a video yesterday like I said I was going to, and it's just because this weekend I was crunching, trying to like get a lot of work done because I kind of set this deadline for myself, and I'll go into that in a minute, but basically I pulled an all-nighter on Sunday, stayed up. Monday my brain was just mush, not working, and I'm not gonna stress out over like missing a video like I did when I made the vlog. I'm treating this more like my workouts. My goal is to get 5 workouts in a week. My goal is to get 5 videos done a week. If it doesn't happen, we'll try again next week. So with any luck, we'll have 4 done this week and we'll get back on track next week. So Lawndale Club is my new business. Literally, Lawndale Club LLC is my Las Vegas, Nevada based business. But what Lawndale Club is, I don't know if that's what it is like practically, but in theory, in terms of art, Lawndale Club is, it's this conceptual art project where Lawndale Club is, in this universe, a casino in Las Vegas. Lawndale Club, I guess I can give you the reason for the name real quick. Club, because so there were places that people gambled and stuff like that, but they weren't necessarily called casinos. And then when gambling became illegal during the Prohibition era, so there was no drinking, no gambling, and basically clubs were formed where you needed to actually be a member. You'd have a member card, and this way they could control the people that would come into the clubs. This wasn't just in Las Vegas, this was in New York, this was Chicago, this was everywhere. But in Las Vegas, these were the places where the gambling would take place. So when gambling became legalized in Nevada, the clubs became the first places to get gaming license. So out of the first 7, I think 5 of them, I'm pretty sure, 5 of them were clubs. There was the Arizona Club, the Nevada Club. I don't think the Las Vegas Club came at that point. I think that came later. But there was the Northern Club. There was all of these clubs because that's what it was. It was a membership club, and then they applied for their gaming license. And those were the places everybody was already gambling, not legally. But it's probably similar to like when marijuana was legalized recently, you know, in state by state. I bet a lot of the places that were doing it illegally were the first ones to get the license to do that. Anyway, so that's why Lawndale Club is called Club. Lawndale is my hometown. I'm from Central Illinois. I don't know if this is something that I should say. You know, like I worry sometimes about, I want these videos to be 100% honest, but at the same time, privacy type things. But yeah, so I grew up in a super small town, Lawndale, Illinois. And it's just, you know, I have my two homes. Las Vegas is my home now. Lawndale is home. And, you know, just my two things together, and Lawndale Club. So that's the name. What it is, though, is it's this giant art project that I'm basically going to do from now until the day that I die, that is entirely inspired by and in homage to Las Vegas. Particularly, like I'm really honing in on like a very specific era right now, but I'm not limiting myself to any era, because if this is a casino, a gaming you know, place in Las Vegas, it would be able to last however long it wanted to. But right now, I'm really tied into like, I don't know what the Flamingo would actually call it, but the Flamingo had this champagne tower, and the exterior of the building and the tower that they had and the way that Flamingo is written, it's not like it is now. It's similar, but it's not the same. This era, the Champagne Tower era of Flamingo, it's the same time that the original Ocean's 11 came out, which, gosh, out of any Las Vegas movie, that is the one to watch. The original 1961, Ocean's 11, real interiors from probably 1960. I'm not sure when it was filmed. Probably 1960. I doubt that it came out and was filmed in the same year. Real interiors, real exteriors, incredible opening credits. Just like, I don't know, like James Bond level opening credits. 1961. And that's the era that I am really, when I built my brand identity, which we'll have to show that in a different episode. When I built my brand identity, I didn't choose things based on how I would design for a brand right now. I hand lettered my logo, and I thought, how would I make this, where would this need to live? It needs to be neons. We didn't have LEDs back then. We didn't have all this nonsense. It needs to work in neon. So I made, you know, my script word mark in neon, and I really thought, like, if this was sitting side by side with the Flamingo's Champagne Tower era, if this was a scene, an exterior scene from the original Ocean's 11, like how would this fit in? And sometimes the design decisions that I've made for Lawndale Club, for like the brand identity, aren't best practices in 2024 or 2023 when I was making this. Sometimes they're intentionally period correct in order to better serve the art. I'm a designer, but I'm a designer making art, and I don't have to follow the design rules anymore. I don't have to do these things. And it's a really freeing feeling, but yeah. So that's basically like an introduction, I guess. I want to talk about it a little bit. I had planned to show some artwork that I was working on this weekend, but then I remembered all the times that my art was stolen, my fan art that I used to make and never sold, and how many times it's been stolen, and like how heartbreaking that is. And I know, like, there's only a handful of you that are watching these, but it only takes one person, you know, that stumbles upon a video to steal what I make. And then, you know, this time I have a business and legal entity, and these things are copyrighted, and the name, like trademarks and copyrights and things. It's not fan art that I can't really do anything about, you know, other than a DMCA. But fan art, I don't own any rights to that. I have no interest in trying to protect it, but it's still a shitty feeling when somebody steals your stuff and then sells it. You know, it's illegal there because they're selling something that they don't own, but also it's illegal because they stole it from me. So I have legal protection, better legal protection, I guess. But still, I'm going to keep things under wrapped until I actually finish the artwork. That said, Lawndale Club has gone through like several different lives over the last year. I was first had like the seeds for this idea when I started the Las Vegas Daily Vlog. And that was one of the purposes for doing that, was to, I guess, give myself motivation, but also kind of try to interact with you guys and judge like the interest in Las Vegas in general. I don't know. And I was kind of going from the point of basically like the opposite of what I'm doing now. You know, I was doing all of the wrong things and I had all the wrong reasons, and I was really not embracing the art aspect of it. I was really embracing kind of like the commerce part of it. And I found myself designing things because I thought that they would make money, or I thought that they would sell. And I would look at products that revolved around, that were Las Vegas inspired and Las Vegas based. Like if you go to if you've been to Las Vegas, or if you live in Las Vegas, you've seen the souvenir shops. They're tacky as hell. And they all bite each other's style. You can go in 10 different souvenir shops and they're all the same. Like they're not actually the same brand, but it's all the same designs. They just steal from each other and then they put stupid slogans on it that probably would work in other cities and things like that too. Anyway, my thought was originally like, okay, I can do a better job of this. And then I just wasn't enjoying it. I was making something to kind of, I don't know, with a mission of like improving what like a Las Vegas souvenir could be. And the more I researched Las Vegas, the more I researched and watched documentaries and read books and looked at vintage photos from the UNLV archives, I'm so in love with Las Vegas, and I was so in love with like what I was seeing. And sometimes I would get so excited. I don't have my books with me. I have these three like I have these three vintage slot machine books that I'm reading right now. And sometimes I get so excited and just like so full reading these books that I have to stop and I have to just get up and walk around, because I'm so, I don't know, I'm just like so full and so inspired by what I'm seeing. And that's what was happening to me when I was researching vintage Las Vegas, and I was looking at the history from pre-1905 when Las Vegas was formally founded. And the story is just so good, and I couldn't waste that inspiration, and I couldn't waste that new like knowledge on bullshit souvenirs, on just like nonsense. And it's a real gamble, no pun intended, but it's a real gamble to make something that I love, that I'm passionate about, that's like the things that I'm making right now. I'm not thinking about whether you're gonna like them at all. I'm only concerned with making what I think is the best thing, the best version, the best homage to, well, I mean, I can say, like, right, I just told you I'm reading 3 different vintage slot machine books. Like, I started out at Las Vegas from its inception, and I worked my way through the casinos and individuals and different people and historic places and like the different eras of Las Vegas. And it's like Terraria. I don't know if you've ever played this game. It's like a 2D Minecraft basically. And like you can go around and you dig up like little ores and you're just digging through dirt, and I'm not doing a good job describing it, but this is my favorite thing to do. Turn it on to creative mode so there's no enemies, and I just go dig through the dirt, and then you find a little piece of copper and you dig that vein and you go through and it opens up, and maybe this giant area, or maybe you find like some tungsten ore, or you find like these different things, and you're just kind of digging in the dark, looking at the whole world at first, and then you find this little vein, and let's go see where this goes. And it opens up to this other like massive area, or maybe there's like a hidden house in there that's been abandoned, and you go in and you can, anyway. That's how I felt going through this Las Vegas project. There's just so much Las Vegas stuff that it's easy to be overwhelmed. And so I just kind of started exploring blindly, just digging through, and then I'd find something I'd like, I'd kind of follow that vein, and see where it led to. And I'd go to this one and see where that led to until I got kind of, and right now I'm on slot machines and they are just everything. I don't know. It just encapsulates right now what I'm really excited about. The designs on the vintage reels, the payout. This is like one of the nerdiest things, but one of my favorite parts of the slot machine, maybe my absolute favorite, is the payout table, because it's the icons that are on the reels, but they have to make them small and you can see how much everything's gonna pay. Like, I don't even gamble, but the times that I have, I always play on machines where they have a very clear, very easy to understand payout table. And I like the 3 reels with just like nothing. Maybe there's only 1 line, maybe there's 3 lines. You can win on 5 at the most. But you look at these vintage machines and they were so elaborate and so ornate, and you know, they were made out of oak wood and cast iron, and then they would plate the cast iron in copper or silver or gold. And so much care went into these machines, and the reels were hand painted. They would have a general like stencil or a basic like template, but then all of the stippling on the designs was hand done. And you think about the tens of thousands of little designs that you would have to hand do. I'm getting it right now. You know, like you can, it's overwhelming in like the best possible way, because I dig down through all of the Las Vegas stuff to get to this tiny little piece of Las Vegas of like a symbol this big on a reel, and thinking about someone in the early 1900s hand painting these, or the 1930s or the 1960s. Like, I'm sure by the 1960s they were printed, but still hand painting these things. And I'm so inspired by it, and that's going to be like the debut Lawndale Club art project. But I'm not limiting myself to anything. The only thing that is limited is that it needs to realistically have existed or could exist in Las Vegas in a casino. Everything needs to exist within Lawndale Club, the casino, which would have been in Las Vegas from, you know, Las Vegas's inception until now, almost 120 years. So I know that's a real wordy, rambly, roundabout way of getting at what I'm trying to explain, but this is just an introduction. I will try to have better structure the next time that I introduce something, when I introduce the branding, or when I'm showing you the actual designs, or just something else that I'm excited about. But if this was a waste of your time, you should have went and listened to Looking Glass Brandy. And if not, I hope that you can sense the excitement and passion that I have for this project, and I hope that that shows through in the art that I create now and much into the future. If you're watching this at some point, you know, in your VR goggles in, you know, 28K or whatever. I'm excited. There's going to be a lot more to come. I'm going to stop rambling because I'm going to go listen to that song and work on more vintage, you know, vintage Las Vegas, vintage slot machine inspired artwork. And I'll see you tomorrow.